kills, though it can be flexed in the jungle, as we all know, so we have to keep our eyes out for that one. Vamos, go with the Uranus Suyo.
This is already shaping up to be a spicy matchup. Obviously, the Gwyn still is a flex choice for RRQ TORA, but we have that Zetian, which can easily follow up with the Fury of the Phoenix as an extra layer of crowd control. On top of the pickoff that they already have with the Guinevere, but not only that, big tempo breaker as well. This feels like Marcel, but if Marcel is a mage.
Ooh, the Harley also gonna make an appearance in the hands of Gary. Now we have a fun fact for you guys. Across every region, RRQ's MLBB's men's teams have been champions in their respective leagues, with the exception of RRQ TORA for now, since it's their first season.
And an additional fun fact on top of that, the RRQ squad that has the roughest times in recent history is RRQ Hoshi, which is the very first RRQ team branch.
It's pretty funny to think about.
Arashi, the kingdom is here, Arashi. Move to Malaysia. Mari datang ke Malay. Malay.
You're reaching across the regions here.
I'm trying, man.
Trying to pull Arashi here through the camera.
Yeah, the Arashi is grieving every single time Hoshi loses, so we might as well, you know, cheer
Why
him
not,
up a
right?
bit. Yeah,
Come over here, sir. You'll have a lot more time.
You're grief about Dyron, but he's here. He's alive and kicking.
Speaking of Dyron, looks like they're gonna ban his Arlet as well. Lots of teams have not really been respecting this hero since it's more of a pocket pick than a meta option, but they are trying to limit down on the EXP pool.
It still leaves some up for grabs, like the Phobius is still up, Phobius, Alice, Lapu Lapu, Yuzong. Plenty of good options left on the table. And there's just enough for both teams to work, well, at least for RRQ TORA, since Uranus is already up on the side of Vamos. This last ban is going to be pretty important because they need to consider what ZK wants, and the Hilda ban is to protect that Harley in the jungle.
This makes sense. They already got rid of Khalid, they got rid of Glue. May as well finish off the trifecta to make sure that this Harley doesn't get disrupted, especially since Gary doesn't often go for hyper aggro play in the first couple levels. Wants to make sure he's able to keep up in terms of item farming. Vamos, what is going to be their final ban? I think they've limited the EXP pool enough at this point. So will they attack the gold lane?
They can actually. Maybe we want a quad ban or something, right? The carry ban also makes sense since you want the Uranus to really stick onto the targets.
I've been waiting for too long.
Does come through, so it leaves us with the usual Quad Ranger Harif. Wonder if we will see Nako on that Harif. That is assuming Ruff gets his hand on the quad, but then again, the Moskov is also one of the few picks that RRQ TORA can gravitate towards.
Claude is still one of the safer options, plus you leave Dyron's hero until the very end to make sure that he can counter whatever Xeno ends up with. So I do think that's the better choice. I don't think there's any EXP laners that you need to heavily prioritize at this point. Most of the big ones have been taken out.
I agree, I think you go for Ruff's hero. The Claude.
Introducing my buddy. That's Mario.
Yep, there it is.
Claude has been eating good today.
Yep, man has been benefiting heavily from many of the recent adjustments, especially with other marksmen being nerfed as well. That means that Vamos is gonna need to think of something. Harif is a possibility, but does fall off quite heavily in comparison. You will also need to be worried about the Harley or the Guinevere jumping in out of nowhere.
Yep.
So something that grabs a Purify would be ideal.
With Purify and Mobility, what was the best option? So the second best is, I guess the Harif isn't too bad as long as Diamond Force is up. Or maybe the Moss. But it's a tough choice for Natko. Like his signature carry was banned by his own team since they were worried about that, so they will go for the Moskov and the Gut Pot.
Alright, I did have a feeling that Vamos was gonna go for another beefy frontliner once the carry was banned out, so the Gatot is gonna fill in that position as the roamer. Might have a bit of difficulty against the Guinevere, but should be pretty okay overall. Now, RRQ gonna finish things off with the Lapu Lapu. Pretty standard drafts on both ends.
Yeah, and a very dive-heavy one from the side of RRQ TORA. dive heavy, but with reliable setup, right? Once Zetian says go, you go. And it's very hard for Vamos to just stick around. You always need to be wary of that the divine light from the skies. I mean, we've gotten a bit of insight into how Sasa manages the team, even especially when they lose their only loss. So you can imagine the Kage's grabs on the rest of the soldiers of RRQ TORA. This definitely feels like a draft that Vamos is comfortable with, but a lot of it hinges on Natco again.
Ooh, they've got 3 Purifies, taking a little bit of tech from BTR earlier. Gonna make things very difficult for Super Yoshi, but if anyone can overcome the odds, it is going to be him leading the charge of the kingdom. Let's see which of these 2 teams will be able to come out on top as we jump into the Land of Dawn for game number 1 between Team Vamos and RRQ TORA.
Let the drums roll as the kingdom roars onto the battlefield. Good thing about Zetian is that against standard, usual dominant mid lane matchup, Zetian's wave clear can easily match that. Whatever impact this Gatot Zusin might have can easily be nullified if they want to. But the priority is still getting Gary off to a good start. They want to lift the Wanderer if possible.
Well, looks like we're gonna see the 3v3 around the Litho as usual. Who managed to get that? Oh, actually it was Error 404.
They both pressed red 3, yeah.
I think Gary was a bit early, actually.
Likely early, half a second earlier.
Ooh, Super Yoshi trying to go in on Clawkun, doing good poke damage. Has to be careful not to be lifted up, though.
I guess the slightly positive thing... Ooh, there's a flicker off of Kim. The slightly positive thing about running a Guinevere roam is that being picked up and dropped down by the Zusin doesn't hurt as much because maximum HP damage kind of stings when you drop like a Gatot on top of your teammate.
Pretty much. It's like both teams keeping good awareness of each other right now. As is expected, there's going to be a lot of poke around the mid lane. Wow, Clawkun being dropped low already. Good timing too. Turtle coming up in 20.
Yeah, Gary able to steal a camp away, so he's already ahead of Arrow 4-4 in terms of XP, and he's even going to get more off of this. And we'll give it to Dyron instead. So RRQ TORA very much set up for the first turtle.
It's possible to blitz this. Giving the EXP crab to Dyron means that he hits level 4 just a little bit sooner than Xeno. Oh, here comes Blade Surge into the spatial migration. No Violent Requiem yet, but the Deadly Magic dropping Error 404 low, and First Blood going over to Dyron. Revitalize will not save you, nor will it save Zkeep, 2 members down.
And that is one layer of the problem that Vamos will need time to find an answer to.
Ooh, Xeno, you're playing a dangerous game. 1v4, you may be tanky, but it's enough. He gets the kill on Gary. Furitive Phoenix comes through and the lift up. Xeno with the triple kill.
Incredible stuff from Vamos. I honestly thought that that was the end because RRQ TORA had the tools for the fight, but they did not have enough to blow through Xeno's health bar after expending the deadly magic in the mid lane. A triple kill for the Uranus, surprisingly enough, isn't too much of a bad news for RRQ TORA because the goal primarily goes into a sandbag, but it is well needed for Team Vamos to at least give Xeno a bit more of that presence on the map.
Problem is, the richer the Uranus becomes, the more difficult it is to remove him from the game, and giving him kills early is going to have the highest value. Xeno already a bit of a threat at this stage.
Did he take the concussive blast? I think he did, right?
I am not sure.
I'm inclined to believe he took concussive blast. Because that was the extra oomph he needed to get the kill on the Gary before translating into more.
I thought it would be too risky actually for him to stay there, but
Yeah, same.
looks like he calculated it. And that was planned for sure.
Not to mention Clawkun was able to get Crimson Beacon on time too, so the support system came in at the 11th hour. To spot out Gary too, so no Gek attempt there.
It's a good start for now. Team Vamos just needs to continue pushing it, and they are quite good at playing with leads. Super Yoshi gonna get taunted in. Goes in for the Violent Requiem into the blazing through, and Error 404 is no longer found.
Again, Vamos, they need to remember one thing. The AoEs, the setup from RRQ TORA is so much easier compared to what they have. So every single time the Guinevere jumps onto someone, the Deadly Magic connects, all Kim has to do is to press that out and your fight is literally over. And Ruff is the one who picked up that kill. So Arrow 4-4 gotta go back into damage control mode because he is now 0-2.
Another impressive performance from Super Yoshi. The typical response in that situation would just be to jump away to escape, but no. Actually spotted out Error 404 and connected it perfectly, believing that the team would have his back.
And that was without Dyrant in the fight. So far, it has just been the 4 members, barring the XP laners from RRQ TORA, but now he will join in as well as second turtle fight.
Vamo still has a 1k gold lead. They have control. Dyrant jumps in, trying to stun. Super Yoshi misses the Violent Requiem. Error 404 secures the turtle. That means that Super Yoshi is going to be sacrificed here. And Dyrant might not be so lucky either. Surrounded by 4, tries to flicker out. Gets lifted back. Flockhood secures the kill.
Crimson Beacon at the very end. The AOG to catch Ruff. Ruff should be able to get away. Not a problem there, but they freed up the bottom lane. And this means that Natko gets free reign over the turret as RRQ TORA calls in reinforcement to try and protect the structure. They even expect the Blazing Duet to make it happen. They really don't want to lose this.
And I can see why. They've already lost some of their early game leads. Zkeep trying to look for it. No, Ruff should be okay here for now. Vamo is looking pretty strong.
I mean, Zeno was splitting up the fight as well. Was a big contributor. RRQ TORA couldn't get in at all with a Uranus sitting in front of the damage dealers. And it was pretty unfortunate because Dyrant full sent it with Super Yoshi. But without Kim being able to participate, Vamos just easily isolates the fight to get that win.
It's clear that Error 404 had his eye on the Guinevere that fight specifically. He perfectly iframed away from the spatial migration, probably after the previous pickoff. And without that, RRQ TORA was not able to take the fight on their terms. We're looking at a 3k lead in 6 minutes, a very sizable advantage for Vamos.
Yeah, it's a Vamos comfort zone as well. And because of these chains of events, Arrow 4-4 is now ahead in experience despite the slow start. In the top tier 1... Okay, I thought Zeno would just commit for it, but no rush.
Ruff is a little far out here, has to be careful. Error and Zkeep are nearby. He'll probably spot the Suyo, back it off for now. Zeno doing a great job of split pushing on this Uranus. Yep. So it looks like there's a big ambush being set up.
He has a Purify and they lose Ruff. Ruff didn't have Purify. He is running with Flicker. I feel like maybe there's an idea that RRQ TORA wanted to gank Zeno, but realizes that as long as Purify is online, there's no way they kill him.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Dyrant gonna jump in on the mid tower to prevent it being taken out. Lifted up with the lantern. Is able to clear the minion wave, but Zeno just hits the tower anyway. And now Dyrant might be in some trouble as the dash out of the way. Meanwhile, Gary trying to get close to the turtle, but gets taunted away. Kim chased down by Zeno, who is very close to death. Error secures the turtle. Gary gonna get lifted up here. No, just barely escaped.
Tokun almost solo Gary. This is unexpected, and I'm impressed. I'm very, very impressed. Vamos sitting at a 6k goal lead off of just 1 Uranus fight in the early game. And RRQ TORA now cannot remove him at all. And Dyrant also struggles to join these fights because when he and Super Yoshi goes for it, he needs Kim and Ruff, but they also need a way to remove this Uranus, which they have no way of doing so.
Probably the biggest early game lead any team has had against RRQ so far. Not the first time for Vamos to be this far ahead. And we've already pointed out there is a tendency for this team to maybe throw leads. So next goal is going to be, have they fixed that issue?
Kim is, man, he really wants to hold on to his flicker, but Zeno forces it out. Top tier 2 also goes down. The Moskov siege continues, and Dyrant has his hands full. His pocket in shambles. The formation of RRQ TORA is completely broken by Vamos' lead. Because I think on paper, RRQ TORA would love these team fights, but now they're just too far behind to initiate it.
And they don't have enough damage to burst them down now, and Team Vamos is taking full advantage of that. They've already broken 2 holy defenses before the 9-minute mark, which is incredibly early, especially against an undefeated squad so far. And they close it out. It's possible. Let's keep our eyes open.
Now the next question is this game Vamosable?
Any game is Vamosable. But right now we need them to Vamosant.
Vamos and with this lore, they will be able to cement that game to an almost sure win. state. First comes on Zeno. Wave is already set up forehand. Ruff is very far away. And Zeno just do this, right? Force him away.
Just walk on top of Gary, and Dyron is
Oh my
just
goodness.
gone.
What?
Disintegrated in an instant.
He has a Dom Eyes. What happened?
And he was surrounded by 4 people who
Ay,
are 8k gold ahead.
ay. Well, guess it's not his homeland anymore.
Maybe we asked Arashi to come over too soon.
Yeah. That's on me.
Yeah, I think so.
My bad.
Hold on, Arashi. Push back your plane ticket a little bit.
Might be as sad as the stand in Indo. To be fair, if anything, this would be the first loss. It's still early to say though.
Super Yoshi, he's waiting. He sees error. He goes in. Violet Requiem on top of the Suyo. Gary is here. Tries to set up Deadly Magic. Not able to finish him off. AOG protects his jungler. Lord has already crashed through the bottom inhibitor. But RRQ TORA has bought enough time with that play to make sure it doesn't collide with the crystal. They want to try and prevent as much structural damage now as possible. But look at Zeke. He just needs to stand in front. Xeno as well. These 2 bulky tanks, too difficult to remove. Top inhibitor being worked on by Natco. Kim trying to poke. Look at the damage coming in from Error 404. Even just with the snipe, the tower will go down. And they're not able to take anyone.
And Zeno is back to full health. Welcome to the life of the Uranus. And that was the best chance that they got to kill Error 404. But he is in the immortal form, so not that it mattered, right? Because it was primarily magic damage, but he was just too far ahead to die. A 10k goal lead. You would have thought of this as a possibility, not against RRQ TORA, and yet here we are. Next Lord 80 seconds away, but it's almost a sure win for Vamos unless RRQ TORA can pull off some out of this world engage, and he has to start with Super Yoshi getting more than just 1 person in a Violet Requiem. Even then you'll need a 5-man Blazing Duet, a 3-man Land Shaker, and maybe Natco's phone disconnects.
And remember, 3 members of Vamos have Purified too.
Yeah.
So even if somehow Super Yoshi lands a 5-man Violet Requiem, 3 of them can just walk out of it.
They will have to take the hands off the phone to lose this game.
10k lead is usually the range where a game is considered over, and it's gonna be even more over with a nice taunt on Gary. Oh, SOD connects! No way he takes that. Yeah, no way. RRQ is already there to protect.
Oh boy. I would have taken that. Made it Vamosable.
That would be a Vamosable play for sure.
If he had Inspire though, think about it.
It would be very inspiring to throw your lead like that.
Loleo would have taken that. Loleo in
Not
2
these
seasons
days,
ago.
man. Yeah, 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago, he would have done it. Oh boy.
Gary in a bit of a bad spot, but he's okay because the rest of Vamos is already setting up for the Lord. Vamos have been doing a very good job so far. As long as they keep pushing this lead and end the game before Ruff can get scaled up, this game should go to them.
I think a lot of the preparation also came in from the drafting phase where they were eliminating key components of what made RRQ TORA click in a lot of their previous games, right? Big setup from Dyrens, big setup from Super Yoshi. And easy and reliable ones as well, like the Cho, the Kalea, the Sora especially, that has been a bane for a lot of other teams that face up against RRQ TORA but had no answer to it.
Definitely seems like Team Vamos has put in a lot of preparation for this match in particular. Xeno literally taking no damage there from the main DPSs of RRQ, and Lord pushing up top lane.
Cash Pauldron, Oracles, Radiant. There's no way to take him down. He's looking for a Dom Ice next.
Could this be it? Could this be Vamos taking a game off the Kingdom, who has been untouched? All the inhibitors are gone. Lord is crashing in. Dyren jumps in. Doesn't really do much damage. They get the taunt of Super Yoshi too to cancel his setup. Here comes the Blazing Duet, but it's missing everyone. It's just not doing any damage at all. Vamos! They have done it a clean snowball right from the very beginning. Not giving any opportunity to RRQ TORA.
Oh, that was a shocking opener. A shocking but a refreshing one. Just clean gameplay and execution from a draft that I honestly felt like would struggle a bit in that early game fight, but the biggest difference maker started at minute 2. The triple kill on the Uranus basically set them up for success for the rest of the game, where RRQ TORA just didn't have a way back.
I am very impressed